the whole point of doing a warm-up and mobility routine for 3 reasons. 1, it's to promote healing and recovery because blood flow to an area means more nutrients, which means expedited recovery. It's why motion is considered lotion for the joints. And 2, activation and priming. Before doing a strength session, if you haven't been moving around much, or jumping around, bending over, and picking things up all day, the target muscles of a deadlift or a squat are most likely going to be relatively inactive. And 3, it's for injury prevention and overall health. Nothing is worse for progress than an injury that slows down your ability to make progress and sometimes even forces you to restart your progress from square one. And no one likes to start from square one, especially when it comes to strength. I know I'm speaking from experience. Having to restart at 135 is the worst thing, especially if you were close to hitting 400 on a specific lift. It's going to take months to get back to where you previously were. That's why you must always prioritize mobility work and stretching, because you want to stay healthy and you want to be able to continue making progress consistently. Welcome back everyone, my name is Ilya Borsov, lifetime natural powerlifter and bodybuilder and the voice behind Warrior. And today is a healing and recovery day. Now this week, we worked out for 6 days, and one of the things that happens when you work out for 6 days is that you get really sore. So this first exercise is called the bent knee iron cross. Now you can do it with your leg straightened out, but my hamstrings were extremely sore and they weren't ready for that yet. So I do this with the knee bent. Now this stretch, the way that you do it is that you keep your shoulders down, you bring one leg over, and you pull the knee towards the ground. Now this stretch targets the glutes, especially in the sacroiliac joint, which is abbreviated as the SI joint. And it's this iron cross stretch that I always crack my back with, so if you hear any cracking, don't worry. Now, the next exercise is the knees together trunk rotations. Now this exercise, again, targets the SI joint area and the spinal erectors, the obliques, and the quadratus laborum muscle, which is abbreviated as the QL muscle. To do this exercise, you simply put your knees together, lie flat on your back, and rotate your trunk back and forth. This next stretch is called the pigeon stretch, and it's one of my favorite stretches ever. The way that you do this is you bring one foot across your body until you feel a stretch, and then you extend the back leg and lunge the body forward. Now, if you're feeling really tight, rock back and forth and then transition into the pigeon stretch. This stretch targets the gluteus maximus, the medius, the piriformis muscle, which is that deep muscle in the glutes. All of these muscles are involved in deadlifting, squatting, and any hip hinge movement like bent over rows. So this stretch will really loosen up your glutes and your hips, and you'll be feeling like a brand new person after you do this stretch. This next exercise is called the rocking frog stretch, and it simply targets the adductors and the groin muscle. Now the way that you do this is you externally rotate the feet so that the ankles are flat against the ground, and then you just gently rock back and forth, pushing your hips backwards until you feel a stretch. And while you're in this position, what I like to do is some hip internal rotations. From the frog stretch position, lift the foot up and out, keeping the knee on the ground, and twist the foot outwards. This will mobilize the hip joint and increase your range of motion and make that deadlift position and squat position a lot more comfortable. Finally, the last stretch that I love to do is called the scorpion. This is a common stretch that I've done in every sport that I've played, specifically football and track, and it targets the muscles of the quads, the hips, the glutes, as well as the lower back and spine. So the specific muscles are the spinal erectors, all of the muscles of the hip flexors, the quads, the abdominal muscles, and the obliques, and even a little bit of your chest and shoulders are involved because you have to stabilize.